Nikola.
Nikola. Okay, I just want to make sure.
It's like Nikola Tesla.
Nikola Tesla.
But
he was a crook.
he was a crook. Do you ever watch the drunk history videos?
No, but I need to because that sounds interesting.
They're freaking hilarious. Especially when they're drinking, they're like, "Where am I at? I forgot."
They'll be like, "That guy was a bitch." Like, passing
they get so drunk and they're just like trying to like spew out like history.
That's freaking.
And I learned a lot though.
I did too.
But
parts of it, I was like, "That's actually not what happened."
You're like, "Excuse me."
Go ahead and pull that mic down. You can bend these like this and make sure it's right. This is your best friend. You want to be right up in it.
Okay.
And she's soft spoken too, so like you don't want you to eat the damn mic.
I talk so quiet.
Oh my God, Sarah. Good evening, folks. You know what day it is. You know what time. It's time for Hard Talks with a Blonde and a Hippie. I'm your trippy hippie, Alicia, jumping on the mic from good old Utah, here with my co-host.
Your favorite blonde,
Sarah.
Well, I gotta like pause it.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
I'm choking on my saliva.
She's always gotta like make some, it's always a long pause.
Well, yeah, because remember like the first episodes, I was always like,
Sarah.
I gotta keep that up. But now it's like your favorite blonde.
She is your favorite blonde. And if you're drinking with us, she's just that much more funny. Let me tell you.
Just wait till I can drink. And it'll be great.
Oh my God. We're joined this evening with Mikayl, Nikola. I fucking do that every fucking time. It's like I say extraordinary. I can't say extraordinary. It takes a lot of effort for me. But Mikayl, mother of two beautiful girls, BSN student, wife, bonus mom, pet mom, gardener, cook, cleaner, employee, daughter, sister, aunt, plus former model, former soldier in the U.S. military, a pole queen, and a fucking survivor. How are you tonight?
Good. How are you?
Good. I wanted to build you up in the best way because I think you're inspiring. I don't know how you juggle it all.
Adult ADHD. It's a real,
yeah. No, I
real helpful,
right?
I was talking with somebody, and I feel like the older I get, and maybe it's because I'm stuck in a cubicle these days.
Probably.
But I really have felt ADD hard for the first time in my life. Like I can't focus longer than 10, 15 minutes without having to get up and walk around or changing what I'm doing. And
that's Chase, but he like works on cars. And I'm like, can't you sit down for 5 seconds? He's like, no, I can't, babe. I'm like, sit your ass down. You're done. God.
Yeah, you know what you're listening to. It's an 18 and up podcast. We talk everything controversial, difficult, or taboo. We curse like sailors. Sarah.
Good. I was worried about that. I was like, hopefully they don't care if I say fuck.
Yeah, no, I don't want to be responsible for your children saying fuck or goddamn, so slide in on your own time, All that being said, tonight, I'm giving these a try because they're hyping these up so much. Do you want one? You can have one. I brought an extra down if you want. These Bud Light lemonades, the strawberry ones, they were left over from the party I had a couple weekends ago, and your bitch is lazy and life is crazy. So,
oh, I like that.
I like it too.
We need to get that on a t-shirt.
Hashtag it.
When you like listen back to these, you need to like write this shit down.
You should get t-shirts probably.
I know we're in the process of making Hard Talks merch, and it's a lot of work. We did an episode podcasting supporting other podcasts, and we were talking about like what actually goes into making a podcast and production. And there was a lot of naivety when we started this one because going into it, we're like, yeah, that's a great idea. And then it's, there's a lot of time.
Is that a good idea?
It's like a second job.
Literally.
I'm going to teach Sarah how to cut and edit because.
Are you?
One day.
What? But like, I'm like, when? How would I help
like,
you?
yes.
Maybe. But Mikayl has inspired me with her hard work, her discipline, her drive to persevere against all odds the universe has to throw at her. And, I'm stoked that you had the time to drive all the way down here. It's a real honor.
Yay.
Yay. So tell me a little bit about your life. Like, I've been following you on Instagram, not like a stalker, but maybe a little bit. Because I feel like
okay.
when you agreed to come on, I was like, I feel like I know more about her life than I should know. Because this is the first time we're meeting. But seriously, that's how awesome I think you are. How do you juggle it all between being a BSN student, a mom of 2, and
Working,
and taking care of your mental health and your physical health?
The mental health thing has been kind of hard. I had postpartum depression, like really bad for like the last year with my second.
Mm-hmm.
So that, I don't even know. I think I put that sometimes to the side just a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, gardening makes me feel better. So I can garden now that it's not fucking cold outside.
Yeah.
we actually have like a wannabe summer now.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, it's
Honestly.
warm. I can grow plants. I don't know. I think the biggest thing for me, like I was told I couldn't ever have kids. And so that's like all I wanted to do, of course. Mm-hmm. And so like it was weird. I looked at my daughter the first time and I was like, oh my God, I need to pull my head out of my ass and do something and that's like when it hit me that I wanted to go back to school. And then it just feels like she's watching me and I just want her to know that even though that she has a vagina and that everyone wants to tell her that she can't do shit, I just want her to know that she can.
Absolutely.
No matter what.
For sure.
Yes. And that is what I love too, is you're so candid with your kids too. It's so important to have open conversations with your children and for them to know what's up, because we don't give kids enough credit. They're so in tune with everything around them. You know what I mean? You need someone to get down on their level and be like, yo, this is what's up.
Yeah,
So-
she's super smart. And I think it's just because I talk very blunt to her. I talk to her like I would an adult.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't even care. Like we went to the doctor. She has some kidney thing going on. That's like a whole other story. But
So sorry to hear
the
that.
resident comes in and he's like, oh, does it hurt your privates when you pee? And she
Oh my
looked at him
gosh.
like he was such an idiot. She's like, are you talking about my vagina? Because if you are, then yes, it hurts when I pee.
Oh,
Just like,
oh, that's great. Ring, ring. Hard talks. Your vagina's calling.
That's awesome. I love that she's like, are you stupid?
And how old is she? She's
dying.
3.
She's only 3. Dude.
That's amazing.
That's even better. Like, I love that.
And I was laughing so hard.
But it's the best when kids are outspoken and they can speak their truth because they're comfortable enough to.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. It's important. I think I started following you when you were into your modeling. Tell me a
Yes.
little bit about that. How did you get into it? How long did you do it for?
Oh my gosh. I honestly, so after deployment, things are kind of blurry for me a little bit for a while because I was drinking so much. And that's when I started. And it's kind of funny because like it happened because of Facebook, which is so weird. But like I kept getting emails from like random people that are like, oh, you should model. And I was like, whatever, creep. And then finally like a female that I knew was like, yo, you should come to this group shoot. And I'm like, okay, cool, let's do it. So I went to just like a group shoot and it was way fun. And then I started like having people like, oh, we'll pay you to do this shoot. We'll pay you for this. And I'm like, sick.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
I'm like, I don't want to actually work. So if I just like show up. But then I found out it is work because I thought it was just like easy money, but it was a
Show
little,
up, take a couple pictures, and leave. They're like, no.
It was a little harder than I thought. I learned.
Were you, because I don't photograph well. Like I always like never know where to put my hands. Like,
Yeah.
did
Double
you,
chin.
did you like, what is there modeling training? Like,
Some people
choreography?
do, but like for me, what helped is the first few shoots that I did, they gave me a bunch of direction, and then I went to a shoot where they gave me no direction, and when I saw the pictures, I was like, oh my God, what is my hand doing?
Yeah.
What the fuck? And so then I started like kind of practicing in the mirror because like I would like do this weird things with my hands, and
I know.
like I'm like, why do I
always like
I don't
like awkward, like, hey.
Yeah, I'm like, here's my strong hand. But yeah, so then I started like practicing in the mirror because I'm like, why do I do that with my hands? That is awkward.
Like that's not a cute look. You're like, I look like
That's
I have RA in
weird.
my hands, and you're just like,
Yeah,
Tell me about this mermaid photo shoot where you are legit a mermaid.
a mermaid. So the photographer's name was Adam Reeves, so I can shout him out. Woo!
Hey,
So
applause.
So he actually made the fin, and we went to, I think it was just like Pine View.
Oh shit!
And
really?
it was so funny because it was really cold, and I like got my makeup done, and he's like got me in a fin, but
So
like
you
my
can't
feet
walk.
were out, and he's like,
Oh.
I just want you to go like right there in the water, and I'm just like, what the fuck? So I'm like waddling my happy ass out into like the middle of this freezing ass fucking lake, and
people are watching you like,
People are like,
what is happening
what
over
is-
there?
Does she have seashells in her hair? What the fuck? This is Utah. But
Like, what is going on?
All the best shit happens in Utah. For
Dude,
our listeners who are
literally.
international, don't underestimate us Utahns, all right?
Literally.
Utah's pretty sick, guys. There's mermaids here.
There are
mermaids
yeah.
in Pineview.
I've
Pine
heard
View.
stories about there being like Loch Ness type monsters.
Oh, that's in Bear Lake.
Yeah, in Bear
Oh, yeah,
Lake.
I've heard that too.
Yeah.
Bear Lake.
But Bear Lake is crazy. I mean, it's half in Idaho and,
And then
like,
half in Utah.
Yeah,
It is
but it's
pretty weird.
beautiful. Like,
There's no bottom.
Oh, that's not true, Sarah.
Eh.
There's always a bottom.
Well, it's a really deep bottom with a hole.
it's so
and
deep.
there's fish.
It's so deep that they do like those certifying scuba diving.
That's how deep it is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
They do
classes and
the
stuff.
Classes there.
But it's crazy because if you've ever been to like Cancun and seen like that turquoise water, you drive up on Bear Lake and it's so blue. It's like, oh my gosh.
It's so awesome.
Yeah.
It's clear. I love
I
how clear
like
it is.
wakeboarding there.
Maybe that's
More than I like Pine View, because Pine View, I'm always afraid I'm going to run into a dead body.
oh my
Or a
Do you
tiger
remember,
muskie.
like, yeah, but
Like,
I feel like for a
toes.
few years, like every summer, they're like body found in Pine View, body found, and I
Yeah.
was like, I had this irrational fear that I was gonna like catch someone's like nose with my foot or something.
ew,
It was-
oh,
yeah.
yep. No, I can't.
You're welcome
You
for
put
the
that.
visual.
Nope.
I had
Nope.
a fear like growing up like of fish coming up and like biting my toes.
I hate water. I hate water.
Yeah.
I like more clear water, you know, like
Not murky and
not,
green.
not murky and Pine View. So that was a kind of freaky for me. Like I was pretty freaked out, like even like climbing in there, and I'm just like, why can't this be the ocean? I'd rather get eaten by a shark.
You're like, I have a better chance of being eaten by a shark. There, I'm gonna find a dead body here. Okay, I know that
Exactly.
for a fact.
I know it's gonna happen. So I
Good
was
old
pretty
Utah.
freaked out, but he just was like, okay, you're in the water. This is going to look good. And I was like, kind of like, are you sure? This is like not even deep. I don't even know what we're doing.
You're just like,
That's the exact picture I'm thinking of though.
Yeah.
you're just like waddling out there. You're like, Finn, how do you want me to like lay? This is awkward.
Yeah.
What color was your fin?
It was, I think it was like a blue.
Ooh, I gotta look. I'm gonna like cyber stalk you now.
Do it.
I'm gonna do
I
it.
already have.
You're like obsessed.
I did it.
She's like, I'm
not
done.
like that. I just have mad
just kidding.
respect for you.
Yeah, no, that's freaking like badass, dude.
So how long did you model for?
I don't even know. Honestly, probably like 7 years or something like that. And then when I met my husband, I still did, and I still do here and there, but for the most part, I kind of stopped, I guess, because I stopped drinking as much, and I stopped feeling like I needed that validation that I used to get from it.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
How long did you serve in the military?
I was technically in from like 2008 to 2000, I think 2017. Yeah, like
Yeah.
2017 is when I got out.
And it was Army.
Yeah.
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 Why'd you choose Army, if you don't mind me
Oh
asking?
my God, this is stupid. So
Nothing's ever stupid.
I was mouthy all growing up. And
Me too.
yeah,
Yeah.
my dad didn't like it. And my dad was Air Force. And one day he said something to me like, oh, I bet you wouldn't last in the military. You would be such a pussy, blah, blah, blah. Like, he was just running his mouth because I was running my mouth. So, like, I think I asked for it, I guess. But, and he's like, I dare you. And I was like, oh, yeah?
You dare me?
Fucking dare me. And so I went and joined the Army because I thought it would piss him off because he was Air Force.
You're like, ha.
That is the best.
I was like, oh, yeah?
You're like, shove it to you. You're like, you want me to join the Air Force? I'm going to join the Army.
And then now I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, so the Air Force would have actually been way better. They pay you more, they're nicer to you, and you get better school benefits. So cool. I'm super glad my defiance fucked me out of that.
You're like,
my defiance has fucked me out of a lot of things.
Yeah.
Don't worry,
like,
I can relate to that.
You're like, nice
So
try.
dumb.
Damn it.
I know. I was like, foot in mouth. Here we go. I think it was like 9 years overall.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
long ass time.
That is a long time.
I would be the pussy, and I'd be like, nope.
Nope.
I'd like cry a little.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, basic was dumb, in my opinion.
How was it? Was it rough?
Well, I got there and they thought, because you can't have like makeup and stuff. And I mean, I'm getting older, but my eyelashes used to be longer and darker. And they're like, take off your mascara. And they didn't believe me. So they're like, you dyed them. You did something to them. I'm like, no, literally. And they like rubbed my face with rubbing alcohol the first day.
Oh my God.
My eyes are just
God.
burning. And they're like, get down on your hands and knees and do a low crawl around. So I had a low crawl around the building in Missouri summer for like an hour because
Your
I
eyelashes
was
were too
supposedly lying about having eyelash makeup on.
I just love that. You're
It
like,
was-
I'm sorry, my eyelashes are extra long.
It was cute because I'm an ass, and they're like, where did you get your makeup from? Because they had already taken our makeup at this point, and I was like, from my mom's vagina. Because like I was born with them, so they're just like, what did you just say? And I'm just
You're
like,
like,
oh. So you're the
like-
wrong person to joke with. I'm sorry
You're
about
like,
that.
no? That's a no then?
I'm like, is that a no on that joke?
so
I'm
you take
sorry.
it. Okay then.
Like, sorry about
So,
that.
were you like, what did you do in the Army?
I mean, it's kind of hard to explain because I just feel like a whole lot of nothing. I feel like it was like a whole lot of like fucking around. I was in a medical unit, but it just never felt like we actually were doing the job that we were supposed to be doing.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Mhm. So you're like, you're here to help, but you're like, do you want a shot? Like,
Yeah.
not like
I
a
mean-
shot of alcohol, but do you want one of those too?
Yeah. Do you want like a vaccine or 12?
You're like,
That's
here,
kind of, yeah.
here's
And,
a whole cocktail of shit you don't need, but we're gonna give you anyway.
So this is funny. Okay, it's not funny, but it's funny. We did a lot of like sexual harassment training
Oh.
oh shit,
all the time. And I'm like, so that's fun
Yeah.
and joyful.
that's yeah.
Yeah. With the amount of sexual assault that occurs.
You guys should see the training though. It's like a 1980s video.
Well, no wonder.
Yeah, and the guy's just like over the top, and so. And everyone would just sit and make jokes and laugh about it and just be like, no one cares.
No one takes it seriously.
Yeah, no one takes it seriously because they just literally put us all in a big gym and just turn on this 1980s video that needs some serious updating.
They have like the high skirts and like down to your
Yes,
knees, and,
and
you're,
it's like a
touching your butt.
secretary.
You're
I'm like,
no.
hey, no one's dressed like a secretary. We're all in a uniform, and
Yeah.
it still happens. No one's making comments about my skirt. Whatever.
Whatever.
Honestly,
Whatever.
You're like, really?
Nice bun today, Mikayl.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, do you like this bun? And
It's real slicked back today.
You like my sweaty ass because you make me wear fucking long sleeves in 100-degree weather. Cute.
It's like that hat's really doing it for me.
Dude,
Like,
literally. I'm like, I don't get how any guy is turned on in that uniform. It is fucking ugly. Sorry if that offends any of you military people. It's not very good for my figure.
it's just like boxy.
Yeah,
Just like
it
a
just
box.
makes me look like a burlap sack with a military print on it.
Yeah.
It's not cute.
Oh. Well, I know that, you struggled with your own experience.
During deployment, yeah.
I mean, how long were you serving before your own sexual assault trauma
How long
occurred?
was it? It was a few years. I honestly, it's so terrible, but I kind of like blur out most of it because
I don't think that's
because
terrible
of
at
that.
all.
No.
I
So,
think that's coping.
Essentially during deployment there were like inappropriate things happening. I went to a chain of command and they're like, no, that's not happening. You're on extra duty because you just run your mouth all the time. And I'm like, okay,
It's your fault.
You're like, yeah,
They're putting
thank
it
you.
on you.
I'm on extra duty then. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So they wanted me to go and like check the blood in the fridge by myself like every couple hours. And one of the times that I went to check, I just got jumped basically.
Oh my
God.
But this is horrible too. They knocked me out, so I don't have to like have a ton of memories of it.
That's
like-
good, but that's
yeah.
bad because you could be.
I know.
You could have been around. It could have been anyone.
Yeah. So that was like it's kind of involved story. So like I went to the hospital. They scared me out of reporting it by telling me, everyone has a gun here, right? So I was
dumb.
like, okay, I'm not reporting it. I went to work late. I was like frantic and frazzled, and all my friends were like, what the fuck is going on with you? And I'm just like, leave me the fuck alone. I fucking hate everybody. I was just
Yeah.
like going completely psycho. And then I ended up having like a knee injury, and because they wouldn't send me home for what happened because I wouldn't report it. So I had this
So
knee
they're gonna
injury,
scare you out of reporting it,
but then make me stay in a
so they
foreign
don't
country.
have to pay out for your that.
Investigation, right? So then I had a knee injury, so I went
Fuck.
back up and was like, my knee is popped out and I can't pop it back in. And it turned out that they're like, oh yeah, you're no good to us here, you can go home. So I got to leave kind of shortly after that happened. And
Good.
like I didn't talk to anyone. I have like best friends that were out there, like a few other females, and I didn't even tell them until like years later, wasted at a barbecue.
Yeah.
Like
It's hard
drunk
to
off my
bring it
ass. And I'm
up.
like, just so you guys know, this is what happened. This is why I'm nuts. Because I just went off the deep end when I got home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would too. I would
sure.
too. I was gonna ask like how how they treated or acted on like what I cannot fucking talk anymore when you came forward, but you said you didn't report it, and it seems like they didn't handle it properly, even if it
Yeah,
was
so
gone
it started at the hospital level where I felt like it was threatening me. And then when I came home, I tried to find help through the VA, but that was kind of a dead end, and I still had to go to like drill weekends. But I was like always drunk pretty much all the time, so it's hazy for me when it changed. I like wanted to kill myself because of what happened, and I just felt like trapped, and I was like, I don't know who did it. I don't know if they're here in Utah. I don't know if they're in my unit. I don't know if they're going to try to kill me.
For sure.
Because I think that was the goal initially, just based off of where my injuries were. So I think they didn't expect for me to walk out from it, whoever it was.
They're like, oh shit.
They're like, oh, she's
Yeah, you're
alive.
like, yeah, you fucker.
Yeah.
Like I am alive.
Should have hit me harder.
You're like,
can't kill me,
dumbass.
bitch.
And that's what's amazing too is like, you're basically like rubbing in their face, like, yeah, you could have killed me,
I don't.
but like I'm here. Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Where was your deployment?
Where it was in Afghanistan.
Oh my gosh.
So I was like far, far away from home. I couldn't I didn't have my family there. And then because I was injured and because of like how my injuries looked, they wouldn't let me go home. So I went to Germany and I was there for a while, then Colorado, and I had like surgery on my legs. And like I had to stay there for recovery too. So I couldn't be with like family or anybody, and like they didn't put me in counseling, which I think they should have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I don't know, I got my health records for something different, and I was like kind of flipping through them, and all the time when they would like talk to me, they're like, do you have suicidal thoughts? And I'd be like, yep, every second of every day. And they just like didn't. I just felt like it fell
okay,
into
great.
the cracks.
There you go.
They're like, okay, cool. Well, here, let's get you some opiates and check you out of here.
Like,
Oh, God, that's like the
suicidal thoughts.
Suicidal thoughts, definitely opiates.
Let's
Yeah.
get her some, Ambien and
Yeah, for real,
some,
dude.
Like ibuprofen.
That's the worst thing you can
Yeah.
give.
Check. There you go. Next.
Yeah,
Thank you.
exactly. It was like a weird, I don't even know. Like when I look at it, I'm like, I cannot even like handle this. So what ended up happening, I get home, go crazy for a while, and then I start being like, hey, I think I might actually like off myself, but I have a cat. And I really don't know who's going to feed him because he's the biggest fucking asshole that I've ever met in my
think
entire
cats
life.
are just
My cat's such a dick, dude. It's like a Himalayan Persian cat, and he's the biggest douche.
We have one of those. He's
such
an
a
asshole.
douche.
I'm like 1 pet, 2 pet, and he's like, you're like, excuse you.
Right?
I feed your fucking fat ass.
Right, but if you don't feed him fast enough, too, that's an issue. If you don't clean every single drop of anything out of his litter box every few hours, he's going to shit on the floor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sorry, don't with your story.
Such an
I'm sorry.
idiot. So I was like, okay, I can't kill myself because my cat is the biggest stupid ass fuck that I've ever met. So I can't kill myself. So I need to like find help, I guess. So I started like really demanding from the VA, like, hey, no, you guys fuck off and I need help. So they put me in like a psychotherapist like at the VA hospital, and I didn't like them. Didn't like going to the hospital. I ended up calling the suicide hotline because there's like a veterans crisis line. So I ended up calling that number because I was like, hey, I took a bunch of pills, drank a bunch of booze, and I'm probably going to die. So I just wanted to talk to someone because I think that I should stick around to feed my cat, basically. And
I love that.
Whatever dumb reason, he's a dumbass fuck, but I have to feed him. So I think that I need some assistance.
Yeah, I need help.
I need help so that I don't do this impulsive shit again because it's not working out. And they ended up linking me up with the Salt Lake Vet Center, which is like it's like free therapy for vets. So I've been a patient there for like ever now.
That's
Do
awesome.
you like
though.
it? Is it
Yeah.
healing?
I mean, parts of it, yeah. I have been avoiding going to the military sexual trauma support group, but they have been calling me and inviting me personally lately. So I'm going to go next week on Friday for the first time.
Good for you.
Because I've just been avoiding it because I'm like, I don't want to talk to other people. But then I'm like, maybe I should just do that just because.
Yeah. It's hard to open up and be vulnerable about something.
Yeah, it was like
so
hard to
traumatic.
get to the point where I was like comfortable enough
Yeah.
to sit in a room with other people.
You're a freaking
And I
badass.
I commend
though.
you for, getting this
Holy-
far and even
yeah.
like coming on here and being willing
able to,
to
like, talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Ring,
I-
ring.
And then like freaking like applause too, because that's like
All day, every
dude,
day.
That's your freaking killer. Like bow down.
Well, and there's so
Some
many
hard shit.
people who have experienced something similar. And my phone is so loud up there. My son's playing phone games. I just can't win today, guys. But a lot of people aren't able to talk about it. So they're probably going to hear your story and really be able to relate and maybe find something healing in that as well.
Yeah.
No.
It was weird because before I had my second baby, I like convinced myself that I didn't remember what happened at all. And then this was really crazy.
I'm so glad that you brought that up because I read your birth story after you were able to post it and how it was so triggering for you.
Yeah. So it was weird. I did a home birth during a pandemic, so that was cool. But
For sure.
basically, like, I had just persisted all the time during therapy. I tried EMDR and I was just like, I don't remember shit. This is stupid. This is pointless. This isn't helping.
Yeah.
I don't remember it. During labor, that was the first time in this, like, that I had felt physical pain to the extent of what happened over there. Because, like, it was natural birth at home. I had her in 3 hours. So that's, like, a lot of work in a little...
3
But
hours.
you had her in natural
Yeah.
in 3 hours. Like
I was like in labor with my
was, like,
oldest
3 and
for
some
like
change.
over 24 hours.
My first was only, like, 6.
Damn.
And then my second... My midwife was like, dude, I think it's because your, like, stomach is so ripped that you just shot her out.
Dude.
Like, probably, maybe.
It's like 6-pack. You're like,
I'm all...
Thank
like,
God
ready
for that,
and
that pull, yeah.
But yeah, I'm like, that was the first time that I had felt physical pain that matched the pain of over there. And so it was weird because I had like vivid flashbacks during labor and I like almost passed out. Like it was really, really intense for me because I just wasn't
for
prepared.
sure.
I read this book called When Survivors Give Birth, and by read it, I mean I skimmed through it, said this is fucking dumb and doesn't affect me through it. But then it did. I'm like, oh, I should have read the whole thing. But
You're like, that one chapter would have really helped right now.
like I did read something about this. I should have finished it. But
It's in my archives somewhere.
Right. I
Right.
know. So it was kind of crazy because I like was so resistant. I'm like, that would never happen to me. I don't remember shit. And then I did. And I'm like, oh, okay. So anyway.
Were they
Yeah,
vivid
Yeah, it was like
flashbacks?
super vivid. And so I talked to my therapist about it after. And then she tried EMDR again. And then I kind of got like a little bit manic depressive. So I had to stop for a second. Like it was so
I've
crazy.
heard EMDR is really helpful for post-traumatic stress disorder, though. How do you feel about it? Mixed emotions?
I think that maybe right after having the baby was probably not the best time, just because like I was having like the postpartum
Yeah, you
hormones,
had
and I
that
just
on
think
top of
that,
everything else. Yeah.
I think that it was like a match made in hell,
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
But I want to revisit it now that I'm not like so postpartum having baby blues,
Yeah.
type of a thing.
for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
It's crazy because PTSD comes about in the craziest ways. Like a lot of people's triggers are something that you never really even think of. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Like a certain smell.
Yeah,
Like
there's like
anything.
Something
smells
small.
or like the way a fabric feels or something, or
Or like a certain noise.
yeah,
it's almost similar to like, you know, how nostalgia brings you back to that moment.
Yeah.
PTSD, it's just so very real. And I've been doing a lot more research on it because it's been Mental Health Awareness Month in May. Yeah, I'm here.
Are you?
No, not in any way, shape, or form. I brushed my teeth today. So
I brushed mine too.
there's that.
I put deodorant on.
I actually did too. I usually don't, but I did today.
Did
Sometimes
not.
I forget.
So like with the research that I've been looking into, like it's all very new. I mean, real studies on PTSD have only been, you know, happening for the last 10 to 20 years or so.
Yeah.
And so there's still a lot to be learned. But I think it's great that, you know, you're opening up to new healing opportunities.
There's some new studies on PTSD treatment because it like disrupts like neuron synapses. I'll try not to get too nerdy into
No,
it.
I love
but
it.
it's
I
like-
love it.
So they treat it with like SSRI inhibitors, but they're trying to treat it with ketamine.
I've heard that.
So
We had a psychedelics episode, and we kind of got on the topic of ketamine and ketamine clinics and how more and more are opening up around the country and especially in Europe. And even like psychedelic studies. We talked about that a little bit.
They're treating veterans now with microdosing mushrooms and then ketamine, and they have like a nasal spray that they'll treat them with. I was in a study after deployment for ketamine for pain management, except I didn't know I was in the study.
Yeah.
But I
really?
like was in a
Horrible.
cable. I liked it.
Well, like you didn't know. You're like, oh,
But I'm like, it sucks I didn't know, but because I was so depressed and like angry, and then they gave me that, and I was watching Courage the Cowardly Dog, and I thought that I was like part of the show, and it was like really intense, and I was just laying there pretty much drooling, like
That takes me back.
dude, that's my favorite show. Anytime I don't do anything anymore because I'm like lame and busy. But anytime that I would do like Zooms or anything, I was always like, let's watch Courage the Cowardly Dog and eat popcorn.
My gosh.
That was like my thing.
That is epic. What did I used to watch? I watched a lot of Disney movies and
Disney princess movies.
yeah,
love
but
those.
when you're on mushrooms or other substance,
Snow White's weird.
they all get a little weird, and you just think everyone has an agenda, if you know what I'm saying. It's in it, and
like, no.
it goes from being innocent and about a princess movie to like seeing all the horrible, dark things that you realize as an adult, like. Well, damn, she's locked in a tower for her whole life, and she's got to wait because just because she's got a vagina, she's got to wait for a man.
Well, and then it's weird because it's like, oh, she died. Let's build her a fucking glass coffin so we can stare at her
weird.
dead body.
Yeah,
And then the
while
prince
she
is like,
decays.
oh, look at this dead bitch. I'm going to kiss her. Like,
Shove
why?
it off.
Why are you going to kiss her? You're so weird.
Beauty and the Beast
name for
is that was an interesting trip.
But too, they were always saying how like the first Disney movie to come out now was like Frozen, whereas like the sisters, and it was like, well, what about Mulan? Like she didn't have anyone to save her, and like, but she had to
Mulan
dress up
saved
as
herself. She's a
but-
badass
yeah,
bitch.
but she had
Mulan's
to
a
dress
bad
up like a
bitch.
boy because they wouldn't let. They only had one of the first sons.
Yeah,
and she's like, well, you know what? Fuck you. I just saved all of.
Mulan was
Mulan-
based off
no.
of a real person or a Chinese legend.
Yeah,
yeah.
I know that.
Mulan's a bad bitch. She's probably one of my favorites.
There's a real life
You don't even
version
know
of Mulan, and it's not the new one that just came out, but like
It's
an
like an older
adult
one.
version. And it's like based off of the legend of Mulan, and that shit is intense. Like,
I'll have to watch it.
oh my god, it's actually really good.
All right. Well, you
Spoiler
learned something
alert,
new.
it's sad in the end. So it's not like a Disney movie.
The ending is sad.
It's sad, just a little bit. Ugh. Anyway, so what would you say got you through your labor and everything while you were experiencing PTSD?
I felt like I wasn't in my body, so it was super weird. I was like about to pass out. My midwife is also a bad bitch. So she had someone from Ogden, actually. Her name's Sarah Fairlight, that came with Gloria, and she's also a bad bitch. I can't. If I start talking about them, I'm just
All
gonna
the bad
go
bitches.
crazy.
You guys are awesome.
So basically, like, Gloria would like get in my face and be like yelling stuff to me, like you can do this, you can do hard things, you got this, we're all right here, type of stuff. Like, and that kind of helped like bring me back to the present. And I would be screaming, like going nuts. Like I sounded like a fucking werewolf, probably. Like it was nuts, dude. My neighbors were probably like, "Who's getting killed in there?"
Didn't you your eye? Your eye got
Yeah, I was like so wild that I popped a vessel in my eye, and then it was nuts. So I would be like confused of what I was feeling, and Gloria would say stuff like, "That's just your baby. That's your baby coming down. Relax and let her out." And that probably helped me the most. Like my husband was doing counter pressure, but he was freaked out because he was just like, "You looked fucking possessed." I'm just like, I felt possessed, okay?
Like, thank God for Gloria, because you weren't helping for shit.
Thanks for the counter pressure back there, babe.
It felt nice, but yeah. So I think that she helped me like snap me back into reality probably the most, because I think she was freaked out at first, but I think that once she like realized what was going on, I felt like she was so good about like pulling me back to reality, which you got to think that's like a hard job, dude, because not only is she responsible for my life and my baby's life, but she's also responsible to help me feel like comforted. So she's fucking awesome. And I do not think I would have had that good of an experience if I was in the hospital, just because she like never left my side. Like she was right there, didn't skip a beat. And then Sarah and also my photographer were like helping take care of my daughter. Because I mean, Emery was fine. She was like giving me snacks and water and like rubbing my feet. She's like, she was chilling.
Was she well aware that the baby is coming out right now?
Yeah. So it was when the baby was actually coming out, she was stuck a little, like she had a shoulder dystocia, and Emery had gotten out of the bathtub and then she wanted back in, but like all hands were on deck, so we couldn't grab her right away. So she was kind of crying because she was pissed because she wanted to be like
in it.
But like Iris was stuck.
You're like, sorry, babe, you gotta.
TMI, but I tore my fucking clit. And so I wanted to cut my head off with a rusty spoon.
Yeah.
So
what is that? Is that a rusty kettle?
Yeah, dude. I showed that salad fingers.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I showed it to my daughter and she liked it. And I was like, "You're a freak."
We're not supposed to like it.
I'm
it's
like,
creepy.
I'm sorry I showed you that.
Rusty nails. Oh, God. That brought me back to like my 10th grade year. Oh, my God. Yeah, so, I mean, I'm so glad that you had that support, because a situation like that could quickly turn very serious.
Yeah.
So it sounded like you were surrounded by people who knew what the fuck they were doing. And I mean, that baby came out so fast.
She came, yeah, it was like 3 hours and like 30 something minutes or something like that.
No wonder she got stuck. Damn.
Yeah. So like,
Right?
well,
You're
and
like,
she was a little chunky monkey and her like shoulder was just trying to come out first, and I'm like,
shoulders coming out.
Put that shit back in there. So she like, I had like gotten her head out, but then her body was in there for what? I mean, it felt like 500 years for me, but I guarantee if I looked at the chart, it would be like 30 seconds. Bitch is impatient.
But no, you're not. And if anyone says that to you, you need to be like, okay, when's the last time you shoved a watermelon out of your vagina?
Dude,
right?
seriously.
10 centimeters.
While being ripped.
Yeah, well, and
like-
where I ripped it, and then it was so shitty because I like wanted to look at her, but my cord was way short and it's just rubbing right on there, and I was just like, oh, this sucks my ass.
You're like, it's fine.
Oh.
And I'm
I'll
just
look at it
like,
later.
And my husband's like, aren't you happy? And I'm like, I mean, yeah, I'm super happy.
Yeah,
and
does your groin hurt right now?
You're like, shit's shredded.
You're like, I'm so fucking happy.
This is an instance where string cheese fucking sucks.
Oh, dude.
That's what it felt like to me. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah,
It hurts so
with
bad,
with Elliot, my youngest, I ripped into my anus.
Oh my
And that was not great. It hurts. So
Guys.
Sorry, I usually don't like sharing horror stories when people are pregnant.
I mean, either way, she's coming out one way or another.
Yeah,
Does it
she'll-
matter? Like, she has to come
not
out.
out of
You
your
know,
belly button.
I have
Coming out
to
of his belly
say,
button.
my tearing wasn't so bad. I didn't need stitches, and it healed fine. And
It was just the initial, like, everything rubbing on.
yeah, just when it was like ugh, but like after birth, my husband was really good about like, you stay sitting there. I'm gonna feed you and take care of the toddler that's crazy and the dog. And so I got to like rest, and I feel like it healed up nice.
Good.
Perfect.
Good. And I'm glad that he was there to take care of you too, because bitch, I gave you 2 daughters. You're welcome.
Right? I'm like, and they're beautiful.
And that support is so important, especially for those who might be struggling with some of the same situations that you once were right now. I want to drop a few stats for you because they're astonishing. And if you are in a situation where you want to reach out or you need help, I will link some self-help, sexual assault websites and hotlines in the show notes. So yeah, if you have any questions, email hardtalkswithbnh@gmail.com. But the more I read about this, the more mind blown I got, because it's become like a norm just to brush under the rug almost, that it disgusts me.
Yeah, it's gross, dude.
Yeah, in 2018 alone, based on a survey of men and women across the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines, an astonishing number of 20,500 service members came forward and claimed that they were sexually assaulted or raped. And that's, like you said, just the ones that reported it.
Yeah, and most of the time it's not reported because a lot of the people I know, they were afraid of like retaliation. And then, right before I had my baby, you guys remember hearing about the girl in Texas?
Yes, I literally have her in these notes.
Because I was like so loud because I'm like, what the fuck, dude? That could have been me, like legitimately. That could have been me you're reading about in the news. Like, she went to her chain of command and said she was being assaulted, and then they fucking dismembered her and burned her. And like,
Yeah.
Sick.
And
And
her
she
name
was,
was
like,
Vanessa
21.
Julian or something like
Gil-
that.
Gillian.
Gillian.
I think they say
Vanessa
I
Gillian.
think.
That was a tragedy. She was murdered in the armory.
Fort Hood.
Yeah.
Piece of shit.
Piece of shit.
If you're listening, Fort Hood leadership, I still fucking hate you, even though I'm off social media. I still hate you.
I still hate you.
Honestly, how could you not?
And like, have you heard the case of Lavina Johnson?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Horrible.
Yeah.
Loop.
And well, so like some of you listening might know it because Crime Junkie did an episode for her.
Yeah.
And they did a great job, but just a horrible, horrible case. And it was just totally covered up. The family is trying to get answers, and they were just put through the ringer for years and years. And the military was basically like, we can't release any of this information. Sorry. Like, even the crime scene photos were all in like black and white. Really.
It's so crazy. It's like a good boys club, and I think that's something that needs to change because like on a military base, it's a different jurisdiction. So like if this is like outlandish and I would never actually do this, but like if I went out in the street here in Ogden right now and shot somebody, killed them, okay, so that would go to court, right? But if I was on a military base and I did that,
court-martialed.
it's totally different. It would be court-martialed and it wouldn't have anything to do with civilian. And so
it's all handled internally.
If I was a guy that had friends high up, that case is going nowhere. and no one gives a
Right.
fuck because
They're
it's a good boys club.
so Goodbye.
Right. So that's what I think needs to change, is that there doesn't need to be such a huge separation between the military and civilian jurisdiction, because that person is still also a civilian.
They needed to be treated the exact same.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I don't think that it should just be like, oh, you're naughty.
Well, the
Smack
court
on the
martial
hand.
system is just jacked
It's so
to me.
crazy.
And it's just backwards. I'm sorry. I'm not.
I
But
know.
yeah, but I mean, that included over 13,000 women and 7,500 men. Just those that supported it in 2018 alone. That is horrific. Like, what are they doing to better handle sexual assault and rape cases?
Nothing.
Or even murder cases?
Honestly, not much, because even I think I read in 2020, there was like 7 soldiers that went missing from Fort Hood.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like 5 of them were found dead. And there's like no explanation really.
Well, and it's just like,
I'm like, what are
they're
you
like,
doing?
if nobody asks, like,
Yeah.
nobody has to tell. Almost.
And unfortunately, a lot of people that join the service are people that otherwise wouldn't have a ton of like direction or support. And that's what I encountered a lot too, is a lot of them are like, I joined because I have literally nowhere else to go and nothing else to do. And so that's part of the culture, I think, is that a lot of people really don't have like families or money. So it's really easy to get away with that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Fucked up.
It's fucked up. And of the women who reported a sexual assault, 59% were assaulted by someone within a higher rank than them.
Yep.
Yeah,
Sounds
and
about right.
no wonder why they don't want to report, because of the retaliation. 24% were assaulted by someone in their chain of command. That is insane. Who are you supposed to go to?
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel safe, especially when you're
Boss's
deployed?
boss.
Yeah,
No.
when you're deployed in another country, surrounded by no one but people in your chain of command.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a big thing in like Levine and Johnson's case, is like they assign you like battle buddies, right?
Yep.
But what good does a battle buddy do if like
Usually now they assign like same-sex battle buddies, but I mean that can't always happen either.
when you can't always be together?
Well, they expect you to basically hold hands while you shit.
Oh,
So
They're like, we're gonna conjoin you at the hip.
you guys stay together.
did
So
we just
I
become best friends?
Your uniforms are
Did
like
you pass
sewn
a bowel
together.
movement?
right. I did have a shit friend during deployment, and she was a badass. We shared baby wipes when we shit.
That's important.
So, yeah, because I was like, I don't want to go to the bathroom by myself around these fucks. Because we were like by Marines and like all sorts of people I didn't know. So I'm like, I don't want to go poop.
Dude, I'm glad.
I feel vulnerable while I'm pooping.
Who doesn't,
Especially
right?
like, for a girl, because like no matter like we can't just like
Well, and
whip
it-
it out. And
oh,
pee.
yes,
We
yeah.
gotta like halfway
just squat your
undress.
ass
Yeah,
down. Get
it,
in.
like,
We're like
takes a minute.
undressed. Ugh.
When it was like these like porta potty things where there was like 5 stalls or something, and I'm like, someone could be hiding in there. Have you ever seen Monsters Inc? What the fuck, you guys?
There could be something in the
I
toilet.
check each stall before.
You just kick it open. Like,
Randall.
Where's that fucking Randall at?
I'm glad that you brought that up though, because like I feel like when I personally, and this is just me personally, like when I think of like the highest cases in each branch, I automatically think Army.
yeah.
Well, looking at statistics, it's the Marines.
Yeah.
And
I'm
granted,
not surprised.
well, and it's like a smaller group or
Yeah.
whatever, or branch, if you will. But I mean, 1 in 10 surveyed women in the Marines reported being assaulted.
Yeah.
That is fucking disgusting. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, well, it's like, I just want to go do my job and go home and call it good. I even cut off all my hair, dude. I was straight up trying to look like a dude, and it doesn't even matter. Like, they
you
will...
were in a burlap sack.
Yeah, they'll hit on anyone, dude. And this is something else to consider. A lot of women that aren't used to male attention, they get all the male attention, and then they end up fucking everybody, and then everyone has STDs, and everyone's fucking everyone. It was so crazy. And I was like, oh, don't touch me.
Yeah, no, it's
Get
almost
away.
like, frat house. in that
Yeah, it was
sense.
super weird. Like, such a weird culture. I'm just like, what are you guys doing?
It just makes me so sad. Like, why are we protecting these scumbags that inflict so much pain and violence onto these victims, you know?
Because they are soldiers of the United States.
The
and
United
we are
States.
patriotic.
Patriotic as fuck.
Yeah,
Oh my
that's
God.
exactly.
Our armed forces should be standing by their integrity and throw those fuckers to the wolves, though.
That's what I
Truly.
think too.
I mean, and they should be treated just like a man off the street should be, just like you said.
Sometimes I like have dreams. Have you guys ever seen Dexter?
Yes.
So I have like dreams that I become Dexter,
Oh my
and
God.
I just go and
Why do I feel like I've been there too?
chop people up for raping people, especially like kids and stuff, because I fucking hate all of them. And I just like have dreams of just chopping them up.
That's like
So
the worst.
now you guys know my deep dark fantasy. I want to be Dexter and just do that.
Yeah.
There's like a special place in
Can I
hell
get
for
paid
those.
for that?
I think so too.
Is that called a hitman?
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, is there like a hitman service website that I could join? I have to wait till my kids are older because I don't want to go to prison while they're little. But
Right? You're like, well, I'm doing the world a favor. Okay.
I know. I'm like, just
Your
so you
children
guys
will be
know,
safe.
I am a masked vigilante. And if I go to
Honestly.
prison for it, just so y'all know, I'm still cool.
Yeah.
Still a cool mom.
And we want you guys to know, like, if this struck a chord with you, like, you know, you're not alone. Just like Mikayl, a vast majority of most cases go unreported. 76.1%.
That's nuts.
So
Not
with that
surprised.
20K that were reported, imagine that additional 76.1%.
Yeah.
What these statistics would look like.
Ugh. That's ridiculous.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think it's important. That's why I wanted to sit down and talk with you about it, because it is important that we need to normalize this. And
Yeah. Or at least normalize talking about it. Because I think like when I was too scared to talk about it, that's when I struggled the most. Like with like being depressed and just like awkward and like literally could not be sober.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But
like having my kids has kind of forced me to like sit and face it, because I'm like, I can't just act how I used to act because now I got babies. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I have to like take care of them and just like, yeah, I don't know. It's
it gives
weird.
you a sense of purpose, though.
Yeah.
Because I was very much in the same boat. Elliot was my rainbow baby in the sense that my oldest was placed for adoption. And when I finally had Elliot, he was such a blessing. I was so excited. But before he came around, you know, I was getting high all the time. You know, I literally say that to my parents, even like, I'm so grateful for the path that I've taken, because like without Elliot or without all the hardships that I've had
Yeah.
to struggle through, I probably would have been dead in a ditch somewhere, or,
Yeah.
you know, strung out. You know, alcoholism and addiction runs deep in my family. So
Yeah.
that's my coping mechanism. And I have to be very careful. And
Yeah.
my life is a very delicate balancing act as I'm sipping on a Bud Light strawberry lemonade. And let me say, it's not bad, fam.
It's not, bad.
Do you like that segue? Cool. I never talked about it, but I guess it's hippie approved. It's foo-foo, but but yeah,
drink.
They do. Children give you a sense of purpose, and
Yeah. Yeah, I think that it was like a crazy thing that it's like a life goal now to like empower my girls to like have a different life, I guess, than I did.
For sure. Because it is hard being a girl, because like I'm having a girl and I'm scared to death.
It's way scary, dude.
Because it's not like girls are just like, oh, you can't do it. It's like, why?
Yeah.
Like I don't get why. Or like they're just so like derogatory, like, because you're a girl.
Yeah.
But it's like,
Yep. No, I always tell my daughter, I'm like, whatever you want to do, you can do it. And I don't give a shit if someone tells you you can't do it, you can do it. Because I always do the opposite of what people say I can and can't do.
if they say you can't, then just show them what a fuck they are and be
Yeah.
like, you know what? You're right. I probably can't do it. I'm just going to show you
Yeah.
that I can do it.
That I can do it just to be a shithead.
Just to be like,
Right?
well, anything
big
is
ol'
possible if you just believe.
honestly, it's like,
Seriously.
fuck you.
have like a year and some change left. However, I think I'm going to get my D&D, which is a doctorate nurse practitioner.
Look at
Dude.
you.
Yeah, I know.
So
basically,
what?
like 1 degree less than being a doctor, basically. I feel
Well,
like
it's kind of equal. It's just a different route because, like, I think that. Sorry if there's any MDs listening in on this. I still like you sometimes.
We like you sometimes.
right?
I feel like in my personal experience, because I work all over the hospital and I work with everybody. I work with PAs, I work with NPs, APRNs, MDs, fucking everybody. And I personally feel like when I work with like the APRNs or the DMPs, I feel like they have better like patient bedside manner because they didn't just live with their parents and go to college and go to med school. They like were nurses. They were like working while they were getting their DMPs. They were working and they were with patients and they started from the bottom. And so I
built
feel
relationships.
Yeah, so I feel like, I mean, like, because as a DNP, you would be like a provider. I just feel like they have a better bedside manner. I feel like they listen more to their patients, and I just feel like they have really valuable experience that maybe doctors didn't get because they just literally went to school and then were a doctor, and they didn't like. I mean, and that's not everybody. I know that some of them worked during school, but like, I mean, most of them, you talk to them, and it's like, oh, I went straight to med school, and that was my first job was being a doctor.
Damn.
And that's again, not everybody. I know there's some that go a different route, but
For the most part.
I mean, they like go to school, become a doctor, and that's that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know anything different.
Like, I have a sibling that went to school and became a PA, and that was his first job, like civilian side in a hospital, was being a PA.
Wow.
And so he didn't ever really work with patients until he was a PA.
Wow. So you don't have any real life experience until you're literally thrust into your first job.
Yeah, and since I'm a medical assistant now, and I think that like starting from this, it's not even a super low level either, because like I never was a CNA. I totally skipped that. But I feel like starting from like a lower level gives you a unique perspective because you're seeing how hard these people are working, and so I think it's easier to, instead of like bark orders, like really understand like who these people are, what they are capable of, like how smart they are, because some people like act like we're idiots, and I don't know.
Like, you're just there to, like, help them, and you're like, well, really?
What
I
kind
can
of
do more. or
medicine
whatever.
are you interested in getting into?
So I used to want to be a nurse midwife. So I worked with a midwife for a while and did like the home birth thing, and I did like doula work, and I liked it. But I started working the hospital circuit and seeing that there was people in specific, like a lot of times, like they're dying, so their families disappear, and they're like getting sent to appointments like from a transportation guy that knows nothing about them. They're coming in, they don't remember shit about fuck, and they're just alone, they're scared. And I started kind of being like, well, that's interesting. That's odd. Like, why do people get treated so shitty just because they're like dying? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so with birth and maternity, everybody wants to work there. Everybody, they never have
Everyone
an
wants the
issue
babies.
staffing it. Everybody wants the babies. And I started kind of like really connecting with elderly patients more. And I started feeling like working with them like filled my cup a lot more. Like I really like
That's awesome.
chatting with them.
There's stories. They have,
Right.
like, the best stories.
And they have good advice. Man.
You're like, they lived. Okay, they
They
know.
know what they're effing doing. So I was like, I think that I want to work somehow with elderly. And then I started working like oncology, and I really like how specialized it is and like how much research is happening. So I want to do oncology hospice through Huntsman.
That's amazing.
That's way cool.
That's amazing.
super opposite of what I started out going to school, but
No, I think
You
that's
gotta
great.
figure it out, though. Like, now you know.
And the
Yeah.
old people need love too.
everyone tells
needs
me I
love.
should work emergency because I'm really like mellow in emergency situations. But I'm like, bro, I want to work hospice, and I want to fucking play Go Fish with a 97-year-old all day. Okay, that's what I want to do.
You're like, this is my life.
That sounds
This is what I want to do. I want to be wound care certified. I want to take care of their boo-boos, and I want to play Go Fish, and I want to listen to stories and listen to dope music because y'all listen to some shit in the ER, okay?
You're like, what is even on? Like,
What
what
the
is rap?
fuck is this?
I would think trauma would be so stressful though, because I'm a high strung person. I would not be able to deal with.
See, I was telling her earlier, I'm like overly mellow. Like if somebody's like bleeding out, I'm just like, okay, so I need you guys to hand me some gauze. You need to call the ambulance, and you should probably get me like some IV supplies so I can get the IV going.
Like, can I get a water in that too, please?
And everyone's looking at you like,
I'm
okay.
just calm, and everyone's like freaking out, and I'm just like, it's gonna be okay. We just gotta push fluids, gotta put pressure on it. It's all right.
And oh my gosh.
And I think they like how chill I am.
Yeah,
But
Yeah, like,
that's why they want you there.
Sometimes I'm like, I almost feel like I'm like too calm.
Well, especially like elderly, because like they don't know what the hell's going on. Everyone's
Yeah.
freaking out. They're like, "What's going on?
Like,
Like, why
what
is
is
everyone
this?"
freaking out? Like, what's going on?"
That's
And
so
you're over here
funny.
like, "Honey,
Just like,
It's
oh, your
okay.
vitals are tanking. Just open your eyes. You want to talk about cats right now? I'm gonna put it in your IV, and we can talk about cats. I can see cat hair on your shirt.
you're like, what?
You must like cats.
What should we talk about? Okay,
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you need more sherry?
it's fine.
So I forgive my ignorance, but I've heard both terms. But what is the biggest difference between a midwife and a doula or doula work?
A midwife has to go through extensive education about the vagina and childbirth. So they actually can do care for like, they can do like your pap smears, your annual exam, breast exams, all that stuff.
Yeah. So
they're- yeah.
So it's
pretty
like,
much an OB.
kind of
without
like an
the-
OBGYN, but they don't go through like the surgical portion of the training because
Gotcha.
an OBGYN has to actually go to medical school and do like a whole section on surgery so they can do
Gotcha.
C-sections.
Yeah, I
a
lear-
midwife can't.
I learned that.
Did you?
I did because so my old OB was a midwife. And she was retiring. She doesn't deliver babies anymore. So then I went to this other guy that did my surgery, and he's an OB. And then he's moving, and he's like, "Do you want a midwife or an OB?" And I was like, "I don't know what the difference is." And he's like, "One just delivers babies and knows more about that, and one does surgeries." And I was like,
Or but with both. Yeah.
so like he can deliver, but like they can like, if you need an emergency C-section, like your OB is the one to do it. Like
That
the
can do it.
midwife has
Midwife
to call
couldn't-
in the
The OB.
the like on call OB. Yeah.
Yeah. So and then doula work.
And a doula, there's actually not any legal requirements for doulas in the state of Utah, so they can't do anything medical. So like a midwife, they can put in an IV, they can give oxygen, they can resuscitate the baby, they can deliver the baby, they can do all of this.
Just
A
nothing surgical.
doula can massage your back, rub your feet,
So
put
it's
up
like
essential. So they're like a support coach. So they
Okay.
can't do anything medical. So like that's why I didn't like doing it.
Gotcha.
Because like if the mom is hemorrhaging and the baby's crashing, as a doula you can't do shit.
do you
But
do?
as
You're
like
just
a
like-
midwife assistant, I could. So I was neonatal resuscitation certified, and then like I could like give the shot in the leg if the mom's hemorrhaging. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm way more hands on, and I had a really hard time just standing there as a doula. So I didn't like that.
That would
as
be
much.
hard because like your mom like, "I can't do anything." You're like, "Shit, why
I'm
can't
like-
I do anything?"
Yeah.
But I would say you'd think it'd be rare to just have a doula there, especially if you were doing an at-home birth.
Yeah, most.
Or is it
I
more
mean, most
common?
people are gonna have a doula and a midwife because
Right.
a
Yeah.
doula can't deliver the baby. I
Right.
mean, I'm sure there's some out there that are like, I can do it, and they do it, but like they don't carry insurance. Like,
Yeah.
my midwife has emergency meds, oxygen, like anything that she could possibly need without
She has
a
it.
C-section, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like she has like emergency meds, she has different like oils and tinctures that you can take. And I mean, she's got like a whole certification to be a midwife, and then they also have to carry insurance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Big liability.
Yeah.
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 So they have to carry a certain amount of insurance to do home births, but like a doula, they don't have a way to carry the proper insurance because they don't have a certification for that. I have like a DONA certification as a doula, but I mean, still you can't get like that kind of insurance as a doula.
Yeah, that'd be hard. That's all.
But doulas are dope if you're doing the home birth route, just because they help coach you through it and they're really good with supportive measures.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like it was necessary at my birth because the two midwives that I have are very, very experienced, and I felt like that was all the emotional support I needed.
Yeah.
And
For
I
sure.
didn't want an extra person there because I'm a little bit more on like the Like, I don't want a ton of people in my space. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Some
yeah.
people, the more the merrier. But for me, I was like, I'm fine with this.
I had so many fucking people in, not when I was in active labor, of course, but like when I was like, well, kind of. What's active labor technically? When you're pushing, or because it was after
when your
that
water
they
breaks?
came in and broke my water, and people were still in the room with me, and it got to a point where I was like, "Get everybody the fuck out!" You know what I mean?
Some people say active labor is once you hit 5 centimeters. And then, so it's usually like 5 centimeters. And if your contractions are like closer together.
It's so funny when you show like a man, you know, the size of your typical vagina, right?
Yeah.
And then you show them 10 centimeters and they're like, there's no way. And it's like, you should experience watching a live birth, my guy. You really benefit from that.
I know. I only want like 3 people in the room. 3.
So, I mean, even that seems like.
Well, one is like my little sister-in-law because she wants to do like labor and delivery. So I'm like, she's never seen one. So I'm like, yeah, come on in for sure.
Yeah.
I want my grandma there because she cut my umbilical cord. So I'm like, well, cut your great granddaughters. You cut your granddaughters, and of course, I need Chase there for some reason. But you know, whatever.
Why?
Yeah,
Why does he need to be there?
I just had my husband the first time, and then the birth assistant. My first was crazy.
Was it in a hospital?
I was supposed to have her at home, and then I was like in all this pain, and so my midwife, that was also my boss, like checked me and was like, "Well, you're not in labor, but you seem like you're dying." And I was just like, "I'm dying." Like I couldn't even stand up. Like I was in so much pain. I was like crawling around and like howling at the moon.
I love that.
Like a wolf. And so it turns out I
get
had
wolfish when you give
Dude,
birth.
seriously, I turned primal, but it was like I had fucking kidney stones and a double kidney infection and a bladder infection.
Oh my God.
Stop.
So she did labs, and then she calls me and is like, "Oh, you should probably go to the hospital, dude. You're fucked, basically." And so I was like, "Okay, I'm going to the hospital."
You're like, God damn it.
And she had checked me a few hours before, and they're like, "Oh, we have to check you because you're 42 weeks pregnant, like forever and a day." And I was like,
You were 42 weeks pregnant?
almost, like a few days away.
Shit.
And I was like, "Well, I'm not in labor. I'm never having this baby. I just need antibiotics." And they checked, and I was like pretty much like ready to have her. My temp was like 105.
You're like, you
no
need a
big
push.
deal.
God.
Yeah, I was like so fucking sick, and my temp was way spiked.
Oh.
Like it was terrible. So they got the IV antibiotics, and yeah, I pretty much had her really quick
Shit.
at the hospital because apparently it's not humane to deliver a baby at home naturally with a double kidney infection and kidney stones.
I mean, for who, right? You're like, I would have been fine.
Oh, no,
my
dude.
God.
I was seriously thought I was dying. I was like, "Tell my mom I love her. You guys take good care of this baby.
Oh,
Send me a picture of her."
that's horrible. Kidney infections alone are so painful.
So yeah.
And then you're like in labor.
yeah.
Oh, how'd you do that? Oh,
I had an epidural for my first one because they talked me into it.
dude, my first epidural was fucked. Like you'll have to look at my back when we're done recording, but if you feel up my spine, you'll feel like 5 or 6 little puncture marks.
Oh, my God.
Because, you know, first time I got pregnant, 17 and pregnant, hey.
Hey.
You know, I'm active labor. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God. And they're like, hey,
Oh my
if
God.
you want an epidural, we
You have
need
to
to
get
do
it
it
now.
now, or otherwise you're not doing it. And I was like, well, that was a part of my birth plan. So that,
I don't know what I'm doing.
oh
Just going.
God.
Go with the flow.
But you have to sit so still.
It's
And
impossible.
As you're having contractions, it's like, how do you do that? And I guess I just got all the awesome rookies, anesthesiologists.
"We're gonna
I
do
don't
these
know,
new."
but they kept missing.
Oh,
And so they
yeah.
had to go get like the lead anesthesiologist or whatever.
I'd have been like, just whatever. Doesn't
And-
matter anymore. I'm done.
Right.
Finally, it took forever. Like, thank God for my grandma because she was there, because it really did take forever. Like
Oh, hell.
45 minutes or so just to get one in. And his whole explanation was like, "Oh, you don't really have very big spaces in between your vertebrae." Well, he hit my nerve.
Oh,
And so
shit.
for like 3.5 weeks after I had my son, and I'm already a wallowing mess because he was placed, you know.
Yeah.
My left leg didn't work. Like every time I would step on it, it would shoot pins and needles up and down and into my spine.
That's why I didn't get one the second. Like I was so adamant about it because I didn't like that experience that much anyway. But I don't know. I guess with like the kidney stuff, I mean, it made sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
But,
and I mean, like, do whatever works for you.
Yeah.
Fam, absolutely.
Yeah, I am just you wouldn't believe this, but I do not fucking like needles. I don't even like my blood.
Right?
I hate it.
Yeah, I like how you look at both of your arms. I'm like, you're decked
so-
out.
She's like,
but-
covered. It's fine.
I
can
needles
put-
are different.
Yeah,
I feel
I'm like, I
yes.
can put IVs in other people. I can draw other people's blood, but when it's my turn, I'm a little bitch, dude. I'm just like, I can't look.
I just don't. I cannot. I'm anemic, so I mean, I don't know if that has anything to do with that, honestly. But anytime I do look, I feel faint, and I just.
Dude,
I
they
get
took
anxiety.
so long to get my, like, look at how big this vein is. Are you kidding me? It's a big ass bitch. But they kept missing my IV, and I was like, can I just do it to my fucking self?
Will they let you
With
do
my
that?
No, they wouldn't let me. But I was like, I could do it. I swear to God, I could get my own vein. I'm really good at it.
Okay,
So, while you're going through school, have you ever practiced on yourself, like taking blood or?
I put an IV in myself, like when I was learning how to do them.
Yeah. I mean, like,
But it
gotta learn
freaked me
somehow.
out. I'm like, I don't get how people do like heroin because I was such a bitch, dude. It took, and like I had to do fertility treatments, and I couldn't even give myself the shot in the belly. And it's like the smallest needle you've ever seen in your life. It's so
like,
little.
do you do it in your
barely
butt?
anything. You're like,
I
it's-
did my stomach and my butt for a different one, but there was some in my stomach, and I'm like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Like,
Thank
I'm
God
gonna close
that.
my eyes.
I'm all,
Do it for me.
Thank God that medicine has come so far, because I mean, I feel for those who have diabetes.
Oh my gosh,
when you have
yeah.
to prick your finger all the
God.
time.
Oh my gosh. My grandpa had diabetes, and I remember he was like, he loved his Diet Coke. He would grab
doesn't? My grandma.
He had like the Diet Coke belly, right? Because he's Mormon.
yeah.
He was
What's his
Mormon.
name? Glenn.
It was Arlen.
Oh, of course.
But he would grab like a chunk of his fat. He would slap it and then stick the needle in really fast.
Oh my gosh.
And it was the funniest. I was like, why do you slap? He's like, try to make it numb first and just stick it in. I'm like, whatever. I mean, hey, you have
thought process
diabetes.
behind it. I love it.
Whatever works.
That is
You
so
know?
funny.
It was
I've had patients do that to me before where they'll just slap themselves. I'm like, what are you doing?
like making
Yeah.
it numb.
Why did you do that?
That can't really work, does
What
it?
is, like,
No,
it makes
what
it
it
tingle?
confuses your pain receptors because you have like different
You can only
levels
have
of pain
pain in
receptor.
like one spot, right?
No, you can have
Like
it in more-
multiple, but
yeah.
like it's like your brain
it just
focuses on one.
confuses it because it's a different type of pain than the needle is, so it's just kind of confuses like the.
See, so there's a reason
pathways
he
to your
would
brain. So like it makes sense, but it's just like
it was
especially
so
like at the doctor,
funny.
they're like, "You're gonna put in my IV," and I'm just like, "Oh."
You're like, okay, you ready for this?
Smack
Go.
the shit out of this.
I'm like, I'm glad you slapped yourself, but this will probably still not feel great.
damn.
You're like, and okay. I know. I had to get my blood drawn yesterday. Today's Friday.
For the glucose thing.
Yes. And I was sitting there and I was like, it's fine. And the lady that took my blood, she's just like, no shit. Like, come in. She's like, Sarah, come sit down. Take your blood. Okay, you're done. I'm like, okay, I'm fine. I'm fine. It's fine. I'm over like bawling.
yeah.
So
like the
funny.
flu shot. I had an anxiety attack
About it. I
for
hate-
the flu shot.
Oh, I always get like
3
that.
years ago.
Dude, when I first joined the Army, I went to like the MEPS and they drew my blood and I passed out.
Ugh.
How could you know?
Out cold. I looked like such a fuck nut.
They're like, I just drew her blood. I don't know what happened.
I'm like, I'm here to join the Army. Just
You're
on
like,
my
ready?
I
fucking
literally,
ass.
I can't think about
You
when I
can
get
see
my
the
blood
mark.
drawn. I sit down in the chair and I'm like, all right, lunchbox, let's do this. Like,
Oh, well, I have to train people how to draw blood now, so I have to let them practice on me. The first time that I did it, I was like, I might pass out, but hey, you can learn what to do if somebody passes out. It's going to be great. You got this.
What did
and I'm
they
just
say?
like so sweet. They're like, you think you would pass out? And I'm like, yeah, I might. I usually do. So
You're like, 3 birds
Anyway,
with one stone.
I'm like,
You're
so-
welcome.
I'm like,
Go
I have
ahead.
great veins. Let's see you do it. And I was so pale and sweaty.
I
You're
have
like, I'm-
horrible veins.
Mine are pretty beefy, honestly.
Yeah,
They're
she
like-
literally, she was kick ass though. This lady, she was like poke, like right, like my mom. They have to go through her hands because
I
they
hate doing
cannot
hands.
get a vein in her arm. Like they will sit there and poke her 5 times in each arm before they just go to. She's like,
There's like a lot
in
of
the
people
hand,
like that, dude.
and she can't give blood because she doesn't have enough. I'm over here like, take
That's
it all.
where my IV was with Elliot. It was like right in my thumb.
Oh, there's usually
And it was in a worse spot because when you
No,
moved
mine
your
was
thumb,
here.
it was like, that's how it felt.
mine was like right here with my first, and I did not like it. I actually took it out before they said I could, but I don't
You're
give a
like,
fuck.
Sorry.
I fucking hate having an IV in, and I didn't want to have the baby there, so I
Yeah.
had to sign like an against medical advice so I could leave
Oh, shit.
like early.
Yeah.
Like, I
'Cause
don't even
I'm
want to
like,
be here.
I know.
okay?
I'm like, you guys gave me IV antibiotics. Who cares about my kidneys? I'll drink water. I want to fucking go home. Your pillows suck.
Your pillows suck.
You're like, I wanted her at home.
I don't want to
And
say
I can't.
By the way, your pillows suck, and your fucking chapstick sucks too. I like asked for chapstick, and they brought me the shittiest chapstick.
Yeah, like,
You're like, get better service, bitches.
it's
And
just
then you see
candle
it.
wax almost.
You see it on your bill, and it's like $55 for chapstick.
Yeah.
You're like, what the?
And
You
I'm like,
I could have
literally-
bought some at the vending machine.
I'm like,
Oh.
that's all $1 chapstick. But
So, like, what made you decide to do like a home birth over a hospital birth?
Well, I just feel like there's a lot of gaps in care for hospital births because like I work sometimes OB at the hospital, and it's like they come in, they go, like I don't feel like things are really explained very thoroughly. They don't really like empower women and like give them proper knowledge, because a lot of times women will ask me questions and I'm like, your fucking doctor didn't tell you that last week? What the fuck?
That's
like,
fucked
what?
up.
Like I just like, oh, you should have learned that in your education. Because I like when I worked at the birth center, part of what I would do is like educate people. And like even with like my midwife, she was always like going above and beyond, telling me like different foods to help with different things, telling me what to expect, what to look out for. So I just felt so empowered through her, and like just seeing the difference between midwife care and like hospital birth.
yeah.
Well, and like with at a hospital, people are coming in like, let me put this suppository up your asshole so you can poop. When you
You're
don't
like,
really
"Please don't."
actually need that. You just need to eat foods with fiber. You don't need to take that. And then like at home, I just feel like it's way more empowering. And like for me, having been through like the like sexual assault stuff, I am a little more private.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I liked the idea of not having shift changes and like people in and out of the room.
Because you're just like, I don't know you. And
Yeah.
it freaks me out.
Yeah, and I think that like a lot of things with like hospitals are changing, but I still do. I always call it like the conveyor belt because like they just want patients in and out.
Yeah, for sure.
And like with my midwife, she would come over and she'll spend like an hour and a half explaining everything to you thoroughly if you want.
That's so
awesome.
nice.
Because there's not, yeah. So that's something that I like, and I wish that more people could get that kind of care. You see a lot of health disparities with like the refugees here. With their birth care, it's like crazy. Like they don't explain anything to them. They just want them in and out because they don't like using the translators. And
yeah.
so I don't know. That's a big reason why.
You're not looked at as a person anymore. You're just
Yeah.
patient number
Yeah.
15.
And I get it because there's not like enough providers.
Right.
But yeah, I
Because
don't
medical
know.
school is hard, bitch.
I know, and expensive.
Oh my God.
I don't know. I feel like there's pluses and minuses either way. Like
Absolutely.
I'm super thankful that we even have like the technology that we have now, because like 40 years ago, a lot of
Oh,
these
yeah.
preemie babies wouldn't have made it, and it's fucking amazing that we can like
Oh, for sure.
have these like little babies thrive
And I
and
think
stuff.
I think if we didn't have, I know it's not a lot, but like there's still like a chance where she could have Turner syndrome.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, if that wasn't in the cards, I'd have been like, yeah, I'll do a home birth. Like, I'll try it, you know, like
Yeah.
whatever. Like, let's check it out. Like, I want
Yeah.
people to be there. But like with this, and like Chase, he is so funny. He's like, no, we're having a doctor. He's like, no, you need this. I'm like, oh, but
It's
no.
because
He's like,
he's
babe,
a man and he needs some
it's his,
control and
it's
something.
his little, and it's his daughter. Like, I wanted cereal for dinner. He's like, you're not feeding my daughter cereal.
Oh my God.
I'm like,
okay.
you know what? She wants cereal. Okay. So
When he-
go away.
When
That's
he
so
gets
funny.
here, he's going to melt into the floor. And he's,
Oh my God.
yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like, I'm not putting her down. I'm like,
all those expectations.
someone else has to hold her. And he's like, no.
all
No.
those
my gosh.
expectations
He's like, I'm gonna
and
hold it.
standards you set for yourself, like for first time parents, for example. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I need the best diaper genie out there, and I need all this stuff, and I'm
Nope.
gonna be this parent, and I'm
And
not
then-
gonna yell and whatever. And then it's like 4
I'm gonna
years down the
figure
line.
that shit out when she gets here.
Yeah, 4 years down the line, you're like, hey, dude, you want some Cheez-Its for breakfast? And
Right.
It's like, fuck yeah. Like,
Dude.
The only like 2 things that I really wanted was a new car seat and a wipe warmer.
Oh, I wanted the car seat.
Like that.
New
Like
car
those are like the
seat.
2 things that I'm like. Everything else, I'm like, hand me down.
The
I'm like, I'll
wipe
take
warmer,
it.
I will tell you this, and you guys can hate me in the comments. I don't really care. But it was a waste of money.
Really?
For me, anyway.
I got one and I felt like I didn't really use it.
I really
Oh,
didn't.
well,
It was
see,
one of those
okay.
things that seems luxurious, but it's like, I think I'd like this for me more.
More, yeah.
I mean,
'Cause-
well, maybe I will use it for myself.
Yeah, think
Yeah,
you're
'cause
out and about and you're busy. They usually get cold wipes to the ass.
Yeah,
most
that
of the
was
time.
that was my thing too. So I'm like, I don't want her to get used to this at home, and then if we're like at like the fucking zoo, they don't have a wipe warmer, and then she's
Yeah.
gonna scream in my face.
It's
and like
cold
the
down there.
like the noisemakers won't do
No.
it. Binkies won't do it because I'm like, I am not gonna get your ass. And like I
have to like take it away
I'm
from
such
them.
a shitty
Yeah.
asshole. I don't do bedtimes either right now because they don't have jobs and they don't have school. They have nowhere to be. So if I am up late doing homework and they don't want to go to bed, fuck it, because then I can sleep in.
Can I tell you,
You know what I'm saying?
how much I relate to that?
Yeah.
I'm a single mom. I'm busy as fuck. I basically
Yeah.
have 3 jobs.
When do you get to see your kids though? Like with you, it's like
Exactly.
doing school. Like,
Yeah.
like this is like I want to spend time with you, so please stay up until 10 o'clock with me
Yeah.
because this is the time I
Yes.
see
Yeah,
you.
and I mean, with this added production, I mean, I'm usually here, but I'm usually distracted. And
Yeah.
so by the time that Elliot gets tired, he just wants to cuddle.
Yeah.
But he wants to be up with me. Like if
That's
I'm
my
up,
kids.
he's
Yeah.
up.
That's my
And
kids too.
a lot of like family members or like people look down on that. But
Yeah, so
I'm glad
many
you
people.
touched on that because society's perspective on what motherhood should look like is
Oh, it's-
absolute bullshit.
Well, I just think it's different for everyone, and it needs to be different for every family because, like, what works for one family isn't going to work for another. Because I have like friends and family that have very rigid schedules for their kids, and that's fucking awesome if that works for you. I can't even have a rigid schedule for myself because I have too much
I'm
ADHD.
trying to wake up on time and get to work. Like
I'm like, I have to
Honestly.
like just do things when I can. So like if they say they're hungry, I'm feeding them. I don't have like a set feeding time.
Right.
If my tits start hurting, it's
Yeah.
time to stick the baby on it.
yeah.
I don't give a shit about like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've had friends be like, you're going to spoil them because they stay up all night. And I'm like, well, fucking hell, that's
Yeah.
fine.
She's not in school
Well,
yet, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, she has no
is.
job, so she doesn't
Where's she
need to
gonna
be
go?
rested. Yeah, exactly.
And your husband, you guys work opposite schedules, right? So it's
Yeah.
not like they have to like be up early and go to school. Like let them be kids and enjoy
Yeah.
like being at home with their fucking parents.
Yeah, we have like one day off a week together, usually, if that.
Oh wow.
And that's it. And otherwise, it's completely opposite schedules so that I can work, he can work, I can do school, blah, blah.
You guys are kick ass. How'd you guys meet again?
It's so funny. I was at a show and I was really drunk and I wanted gum, and this girl gave me gum. Unbeknownst to me, there was fucking drugs on the gum. I
Yes,
didn't know this.
of course.
I didn't know this.
No.
So I just stuck the gum in. I'm walking around. It was like one of those, what are
Probably
they?
like 5 drops of liquid acid.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It was like analog stuff. So it was at one of those, what are they called? They used to be free and now they charge money for them. And it was like every Thursday. And
Oh,
like,
Therapy Thursdays. I was there last night.
No, it wasn't that one. It was like in the park. And it's
Oh,
like the Twilight.
Twilight concerts.
It was a Twilight
in Salt Lake
concert.
City, yeah, Utah.
The old place it used to be before it was where it is now.
Like
You
in
guys, I'm
Ogden now,
terrible at
isn't it?
directions. I'm so dumb. There is an Ogden one.
Okay.
So I'm like walking around and then I start being like, whoa, people are melting into unicorns and demons and like, is that guy a bunny? Is that guy a bunny? And I didn't know what was going on. I was like, am I dying? Is this what
Like you're
death
just
feels
chewing
like?
gum. You're like, I don't know
I'm
what
just
the
eating
hell.
gum. Like, man, I had some rank ass fucking tequila breath, and now I have minty breath. But fucking people are looking fucking weird. So
You're
I'm
like,
like wandering around, just like wondering what the fuck is going on. Can't find my friends. They dipped, dude, and I'm just by myself, like, just staring at people. I'm like,
trying to figure out what the
just
hell is
so
going
scared.
on. You're like, "Oh."
And this guy comes up to me out of nowhere and like hands me some crystals and like sages me, and I'm just going like, he looked like a unicorn, so I still joke and call him a unicorn.
He's your
sometimes.
unicorn.
Yeah, and I'm
No.
just like, who is this guy? And so then my friends walk up to his table and they like know him, and I'm like, what the fucking fuck?
Am I tripping now?
You're like,
I'm
I
like,
don't-
so there's my friends, and my friend's like, Mikayl, we've been looking everywhere for you. There was drugs on the gum she gave you. Oh my god. And I'm like, where is she, that bitch? And they're like, oh, she dipped, dude. She don't give a fuck. And I'm like, oh my god.
She's like, here's your gum. I better get out of here.
Right?
Let it
And
all
so-
crumble.
That was a really long, like 20-something hours.
You're like, I don't know what the fuck is happening.
It was pretty bad.
Oh my god.
That's awesome.
So you just guys.
Well, so I thought he was cute, but I couldn't remember if I actually thought he was cute or if it was the drugs. So I'm like asking around, I'm like, do you guys know a guy named Snee and he like sells crystals? I don't know the fuck. But apparently like I met him and I'm pretty sure that I want to stick.
Yeah, I thought it was cute, but I'm not sure if it was
I'm not sure if he was
near
cute
what.
or if it
Send
was
him
like
my way.
It was a unicorn.
I was like, I got drugged, so it might have just been the dose. I don't know. So I like was on a mission to meet him. One of my friends was like, come with me to Woodshed, which used to be my favorite bar, but it closed.
Come with me to Narnia.
Yeah, so I'm
right?
like, okay.
Come on. You're
So we go to Woodshed and I see him there.
not on
So-
drugs at this point.
I'm not on drugs. And actually I was sober because I drove.
Yeah.
So,
So you're like, you are cute.
I was like, hey, and back then I used to smoke. I haven't for a long time, but I used to. So we like went out back and he was supposed to be selling jewelry and we ended up talking out back like all night and
Oh.
like joking around. And he never asked for my number and I thought it was so stupid. So I like was leaving in my car and taking my friend home and then I was like, wait here for a sec. And I like went in and like had written down my number. I was like, so here's my number, by the way, if you're not a bitch. Like, fucking idiot.
And it was
my God.
meant to be.
And he's like, well, I'm going to Vegas this weekend, but I'll call you after. He literally called me on the way home and we hung out.
That's
that
how
night.
you know it's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad
and
that
now look at you.
you found each other. That's awesome.
Yeah, it
Two
was like the
beautiful
most-
babes later.
Especially when you're juggling all this shit. Like, how many hours do you work in a day typically?
When I work, it's 12-hour shifts.
Yeah. And you're go, go, go.
Yeah, you don't sit at my job.
You got skill.
Barely have time to pee.
Yeah, sometimes they are like, you can't have snacks, but I get pump breaks because they're
Okay.
legally mandated.
Yeah, I was
so.
going to ask,
like,
like,
"Thank you."
how is your hectic schedule with breastfeeding still? Because
It's
you
hard,
breastfeed
but
both your daughters still,
I
right?
don't breastfeed Emery anymore because she fucking thinks it's time to do Olympic gymnastics and it's so annoying. And she's 3, so I give her breast milk in a cup, but I
Okay.
won't actually let her nurse anymore.
Yeah.
But the baby I still breastfeed, but that makes it easier because I can just pop her on and study.
Yeah, and I think that's
And, like,
great
knock her
that
out.
they're both getting breast
Like,
milk.
breast
There's
milk
so much
still.
nourishment in that. And don't you donate some of your milk too?
Yeah, I've been donating for like 3.5 years and I'm kind of slowing down production right now. And I think it's because I'm like so stressed and busy.
You're like losing your.
Because like
I'm done.
before I was in school, but now I'm actually in the program. So I'm like, I feel like some of my supply, I still have plenty for the girls, but like not enough to like also donate a ton anymore. So I will
Yeah.
here and there, but it's not like regular like it has been for
So
years.
tell me a little bit about those milk banks, because I feel like a lot of women who aren't able to produce breast milk or, might want to learn more might benefit
Yeah.
from that. Like, is it local to your community?
So
or
how I do it is through word of mouth because I was a doula at a hospital birth and
Yeah.
one of the midwives at the hospital was like, holy shit, that's a lot of milk, dude. And I was like, yeah, I try to donate it, but I don't know who to give it to. And she's like, well, I've got someone that just adopted a baby. I'm trying to help her lactate because you can lactate without even getting pregnant. She's like, I'm trying to get her to lactate for this adopted baby, but if you want to donate to her. And so I'm like, yeah, give her my number, dude. And that's kind of how that started. And
That's
then she would
awesome.
be like, hey, I have another patient that needs some. And I'm like, hell yeah, give it up. And then like at the birth centers, because like I like kind of worked through that circuit a bit, people would be like, hey, I have a client that's got a low supply. Do you have any that she can pick up? Sure. And then on Facebook, people started hitting me up. And then there's like a Eats on Feets page. I'm not on Facebook anymore, but I think it's called like Eats on Feets. And you can like post in there like, hey, I'm looking for milk or like
Or I'm looking to
I
donate.
need to donate. So it was mostly private donations for me because the milk bank, they mostly just give it to like NICU babies.
Okay. So,
Um,
but like this way, you're actually like not like you're helping someone who can't
yeah,
have milk,
someone-
and not just like because it's nice for NICU babies as well. But like There's other babies out there need it.
Yeah, so there was one lady during COVID, she got COVID really bad and her milk dried up, and she was vegan, so she didn't want anyone that ate dairy to give milk to her baby, and I was
sense.
like totally dairy free for, now I cheat and eat cheese because I suck ass, but I fucking try. But she like hit me up and was like, hey, somebody referred your name, are you still vegan? And I was like, yeah, I totally am right now. And she's like, can you give me some milk right now? Because, like, I dried up because I have COVID. And I was like, fuck yeah, I'll do a porch drop. So I, like, porch dropped. I don't even know her. But I just like, porch dropped some milk.
That's
and then,
cool.
like, she told her friend. So I gave her friend milk. And someone else had twins that I don't know. And I gave them milk.
Yeah.
You're like, hey,
well, and it's so huge, too, because, I mean, I wasn't able to have the experience to breastfeed with my oldest. And so that was something I really wanted to do with Elliot. But then I got a really bad kidney infection, I think when he was like 3 or 4 months old, and all my milk
and then
dried
the
up.
antibiotics fucking dry your milk up.
And I was devastated. I was heartbroken because I felt like I'd only had that little amount of time. And I wish... I'm glad that got brought up because, like, maybe look in your own community, look at online. Like, I'm sure there are milk banks near you.
I told him the Facebook group. It's called Eats on Feets.
Yes. And, I mean, we have a lot of listeners who are out of state, some that are even international. So, I mean, it's all based off of your location. So just look into it a little bit. It's worth researching.
Yeah, you can definitely find different groups on Facebook that donate privately. Some people try to charge money for it, but I will not because I feel weird about that because it's like baby food, and why the fuck would I charge you if I don't pay?
Yeah.
So,
honestly.
some people will bring me milk bags, but I really don't care. Like, I'm like, you don't have to give me anything. I don't give a shit. All I did is sit here and listen to my pump yell at me. Like, it's not,
Like, I'm just
I was
like,
doing it anyways, so you might as well benefit from it too.
Absolutely.
You
I
know?
think that's so great.
That's way cool.
So before we wrap this up, I just wanted to thank you for your candor and opening up and being so honest with us. I mean, it's always so humbling to meet someone who has gotten through so much shit and still, does her best to try and put on a positive face every day.
Yes.
It's hard.
It is hard.
But you know what? Like, you get out there and you kick ass every day and you persevere. And I commend you for that. You've been through a lot. You're strong, mamma jamma.
Bam.
Bow.
Wow.
Bow, bow. You have any more questions, Sarah?
I think we're good.
Yeah?
I'm just going to pop this baby out and call it a day. Hope for the best.
You're like, I'm ready.
Well, like, too, like, yeah, I don't know how I'm going to be a parent. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Oh, you know what? Don't listen to anyone's advice. That's all I have to say.
Because every baby's different. Like, I didn't want a binky. Like, I would not take a binky and I wouldn't take a bottle.
Yeah, even my
Some
two daughters are
babies-
totally different from each other. So, like,
Honestly.
And people will always tell you, like, don't do this, don't do that. And you know what my best advice for you is, since you say you don't know how to be a parent, do what the fuck works for you.
Yeah.
And what the baby wants,
Fuck
too.
everybody else.
And fuck everybody else.
Yeah.
Is this taboo?
You gotta do what works for you and your family, and so long as you're not, like, stringing your kid up by their toes and beating their ass, I think
I mean,
you're good to
honestly.
go.
That's my saying. As long as they're fed, they're clean,
And they're
respectful, and they're loved, and they are made to feel worthy. That's, I mean, you're killing it.
I have a friend, and she's always, like, saying, like, things. She's like, everyone's saying this. I'm like, you're the mom. Like, you do you. Like, I'm like, she's like, I'm like, what about this? And I'm like, you're the mom. Like,
You
I don't
decide.
care.
I feel like if you worry about being a good mom, that is
That
a good
means you're a good
telltale
mom.
sign. Yeah, exactly.
You're
that
a
you're a good
bitchin'
mom.
mom.
Yeah. I mean,
I think so too.
yeah. So thank you for coming all the way down to Ogden. I wanted to mention your husband's company really quick because he has a couple, right? He makes jewelry.
I brought you guys these things.
Oh my gosh, I'm
So
so
there's
excited.
two different ones because my brain told me that these are the two I should grab.
I
And
love
I
that.
have
Destiny.
I have an idea of which one should go to which person, but you guys can
Well, no, you tell us. Those are amazing.
go that way.
See? That's
Oh my
awesome.
gosh.
That's
I want to
beautiful.
read this. So, tourmaline, is that correct pronunciation? I'm terrible with pronunciations. Truly
Me too.
terrible. It's but
can't-
you're in medicine. I can only
Fucking
imagine.
pharmacology. Piss off.
I can only imagine. This is absolutely beautiful, you guys. I'm going to
So-
photograph it and put it on
both
our
of 'em.
Instagram, and I'll link his business. But the tourmaline that comes with a nice, cute card. It says, excellent balancing stone that cleanses and purifies the aura, forming a protective shield around the body. It aids in understanding oneself and others, promoting self-confidence, diminishing fear, and alleviates feeling like a victim. Oh my God.
That
need
that is you to a T
Oh,
if
well,
I've ever heard it.
Thank you for that, Sarah. It transmutes negative thought patterns into positive and attracts inspiration. I need that for the show. These are beautiful.
Do you want me to read mine?
Yeah, please.
So I have rose quartz, the stone of unconditional love and infinite peace. Purifies and opens the heart at all levels, bringing deep inner healing, encourages self-trust, worth and forgiveness. It's calming, reassuring, and heals trauma. Helps attract love and will restore trust. Draws of negative energy, replacing it with loving vibes.
That's beautiful.
I love that. That is beautiful.
They are beautiful. You're so sweet. I really appreciate that. Yeah. We absolutely will. And we'll take a picture with Mikayl and we'll link her husband's business in the show notes. And again, if you are in a place where you need to reach out, if you are struggling, if you are dealing with someone who is taking advantage of you or making you feel uncomfortable, please don't hesitate to do so. I know it's hard to speak up and talk out, especially if it's someone in your chain of command, but you're not alone. There are helplines, and we're here for you too. Do you have any words of, encouragement for someone?
Yes. I mean, my inbox is also open. I'm not the best at being on social media, but I'll be popping in like every now and then. So you can find my Instagram. It's Mikayl6.
Mikayl6. Awesome. Go ahead and give us a follow on Instagram and Facebook at hardtalkswithbnh@gmail.com. You can shoot us an email for any comments, questions, concerns, perspective, share topics you'd like us to cover. I don't really fucking care. Say hi. Do it at hardtalkswithbnh@gmail.com. If you jump onto Apple Pod, this is a limited promotion. If you give us a 5-star rating and review, and then email us at hardtalkswithbnh@gmail.com, we will send you a never-before-seen Hard Talks merch item. Ooh. Yeah, you don't want to miss it, folks. It's pretty great. It's going to be great. So ring, you're awesome. We love you. I hope you have a great week. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Which is everything.
Wow. You got to set the bar a little
Low. We love you.
Be safe, be kind, love yourself. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Hard talk.
Yay!